Now you were recording. Anything you say can use against you. All right, let's see where we at. All right. So today I just want to talk about the your party, the Republican Party.
My party.
Yeah, it
It's
is
not really
yours.
my party.
It is yours.
It's really not. It's really not.
You're not a Democrat.
I'm not. But I
Exactly.
wouldn't say I'm a Republican either. I feel like, you know, constraining yourself to that.
Mhm.
Oh, I'm a Republican. Kind of like, so that anytime a Republican says something, you're kind of like, oh, I got to agree with that. And anytime a Democrat says something, you're gonna be like, oh no, I disagree with that. It's like I don't agree with either of that.
So what you look at
I
yourself?
line up more conservative in my views. I would align more with the Republican Party,
Mhm.
but I'm not a Republican in that. I'm not always only going to vote Republican every time just because they're Republican. Vice versa, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you.
I like to think of myself as a free critical thinker who looks at somebody, listens to what they say,
Yeah.
research and back up and verify what they're saying, and
Yep.
then use that information to come up with my own conclusion.
Yeah. Nobody does that
You
anymore.
know what I mean?
Nobody does that anymore.
Actually, it's funny because there's someone we work with who's a huge Democrat. Like back when Trump was
Yeah.
in office, they'd always come in. Oh, did you see what Trump said? Did you see
I
what
wasn't
Trump
like
said? Da, da, da." You know what I mean? And they'd get all excited and stuff. And I remember there was this one time where Trump had given a speech. It was right after the or following the George Floyd events.
Yeah.
And so I had watched the speech. It was like an hour-long speech. And at one part in the speech, he was talking about how police reform was being, brought out.
Yep.
They were signing laws and stuff for police reform. And George Floyd and his family would be very proud.
Right.
So he said that.
Yep.
And later on in the speech, not even in the same part of the speech, but 20 minutes later, moving on to a different subject, he's talking about jobs are on the rise in America, and it's a
Right.
great day for Americans, and blah, blah, blah. And so the person came in like, oh, can you believe what Trump said last night? Because they had quoted Trump,
Mhm.
2 sentences in quotations, which he
Right.
said both of them. But the way the article made it read was that he said them one after another. And it was, it's a great day in America. George Floyd and his family would be proud. Jobs are up in America. Or jobs are on the rise.
Right.
And it made it look like he was saying George Floyd and his family would be proud because jobs are up.
Right.
And it's like, well, if you didn't verify, all you should do is just read that real quick and go, oh, he's such a bigot. He's such a, you know what I mean? And it's like they purposely do stuff like that all the time.
Yeah, they do it. They do it with both parties. They do the same thing with Obama. They took like when Obama said, if you got that company, you didn't get it yourself. You didn't get it by yourself. What he trying to say is, we build the roads for you to have that business to help yourself on that business. But no, they took that piece, and then everybody was like, "Oh, so I guess my business is not mine." You know what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah.
they twist that. It's the same thing every 4 years, depending who's on power.
I saw the other day I was at my desk, and so every time I go online in the office computer, just like if you just go to like a new tab,
Yeah,
it just puts up like 10 different like news headlines, right?
yeah,
And so you click in and go to like something work related, but you see the headlines. And so
yeah.
I saw this one headline, and it said it was something along the lines. So it showed a picture of a black man tied to a tree, and then it said something like, workers find a trespasser and tie him to a tree and beat him to death in TN, capital T, capital N,
Mhm.
which is the initials or abbreviation for Tennessee.
Okay.
So if you just read the headline, right,
You
you're
right away
you're
you
like,
think.
oh my God, people in
shit.
Tennessee just lynched somebody. You
Yeah,
know what
yeah,
I mean? You're
yeah,
like,
yeah.
So I'm like, I gotta take a
Right,
coffee
right,
break
right.
here, and I gotta see what this is about.
Yeah.
So I go into it, and I wish I knew the name, but TN, they were using capital T, capital N as an abbreviation for some foreign country like Turian, Nardia, or
Yeah.
some foreign country that had not even in America. And it was basically, over there, like stealing's a crime, and these
Right,
guys
right, they-
basically caught somebody trying to break into their warehouse, and they killed them, which, whatever, that is what it is.
Exactly.
But just if you read the headline and you didn't go any further, you would have thought that somebody in Tennessee had gotten lynched for breaking into a factory.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They need to sell. It's like they need to sell. They need to sell papers, like they said. They need to sell news. They need to keep you watching them 24/7. And they will never correct it. But they both do that. Fox News does the same shit.
Absolutely. I don't
And
like
then,
Fox
you know, MSNBC, CNN, and Fox News, and some other channels, they just do the same exact thing. They're just waiting for whoever's on power to say something and take it and just run for it for like 2 weeks straight, talking about just that.
Yeah.
Forget about anything else. Let's just talk about that. I mean, Trump says a lot of crazy shit. He did say a lot of crazy shit. And that's what happens when you put somebody in there that is not a politician, doesn't behave like one. That's what you get. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A lot of people defend him, said, oh, he did a great job. He did a good job in certain things, but he fucked up a lot of shit too. You know what I'm saying? Because he's not a politician. He thinks he can run this country like a company. Like whatever he says goes. He doesn't understand that, no, there's other people that they have to approve whatever you want. You know what I'm saying? You want to change the law, then you have to go through over the right channels for you to actually get that pass. He doesn't understand that.
Yeah, and I would say one thing about that is he definitely could benefit from some PR training.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
He's definitely, which is kind of one thing people do like about him is that he just says it appears that he says what's on his mind. You know what I mean?
Right.
He doesn't hold things back. He doesn't pull any punches. He just says what's on his mind. And sometimes it comes off a little
incorrect.
You know,
yeah.
incorrect or crazy or whatever. But
Yeah.
and then when you take also with that the media takes what he says and twists it,
Of course.
you know, then it really looks crazy.
But if he can at least try to say it right, if he at least take a minute and just try to say it correctly, and then let the media twist it,
Yeah.
that's fine. But once you put it out there, fucking straight out, you know, like with the whole thing, like there were good people on both sides with the protests over there, with the guys with the Tiki Torch. What do you call that? You remember that? There was a protest, and there was a bunch of white people with torches saying Jews will not replace us, and there was a big fight. I don't know if you remember that protest.
Yes.
And he was like, there was good people on both sides. Well, there was a protest about some black guy getting killed. And then you have all these white people with fucking on the street with, you know, marching saying Jews will not replace us. And then you come out and say, well, there was good people on both sides. It's like, what are you doing? Don't say anything. Just keep your mouth shut. Just shut the fuck up. Let the fucking thing go through. If the media asks, you'll be like, I have nothing to say. You don't have to talk all the time.
I'm not 100% familiar with exactly like which.
Let me see if I can find that.
But I would say that, yeah, one is unless you know exactly what you're talking about and you can convey that information clearly, you should probably just keep your mouth shut.
Exactly.
But I'm sure, you know, he probably meant something else than what came out of his mouth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Really, I mean, it depends on. I don't know the exact situation, but I do know like there's some of the protests and stuff that were happening following George Floyd. He was referring to the people breaking into stores and rioting and looting as thugs, and then the media made it seem like all the peaceful protesters that were black people, he was calling thugs, and he wasn't. He was calling the people breaking windows and stealing thugs, which was the majority white people. It was like Antifa and all the other people that didn't even live in the city that came in and started breaking windows. Like, I don't know if you've seen, there was one video. This guy totally looked like FBI or CEI or CIA
there's some conspiracy about that.
And he just walks over, he smashes a window, and then he freaking graffitis, free shit starts here, and then he walks away.
Yeah.
Like, he just totally looked like a freaking shill. You know what I mean? Like a, is it a shill or whatever? Something
Yeah.
planted there to kind of incite violence.
There was a guy, actually, there was another guy smashing windows on stores.
Yeah.
And exactly. And then, and obviously the people that were marching say that this was, you know, the Republican Party or the Oath Keeper, actually, is what they said, that they sent one of the Oath Keepers inside of that march so they can start smashing windows. There was nothing damaged up to that point.
Right.
And then when they were trying to catch the guy, he was carrying an umbrella too, which is fucking weird.
That's the same guy I think we're talking about.
Yeah. Oh, that's the same guy we're talking about. Okay. Exactly.
Somebody went up and like, "Hey, are you a cop?"
Exactly. Yeah. And then he started running away.
Yeah. And then there was other people that posted pictures, and they're like, "This is the guy," and he was a member of some law enforcement agency or something.
Yep.
Which you had to match up the eyes to the eyes, but who knows if that was a real picture of the real guy or not? But
Yeah.
either way, it's still suspicious.
Yeah. It's at Charlottesville.
Because
Charlottesville.
why would somebody just start smashing windows and then walk away
Yeah.
if their only goal was to get people to start?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Whether he was a member of law enforcement or not, his goal was to get people to start stealing.
The thing is, like, nowadays, everything.
And you saw like real.
It's
people,
hard to believe anything now anymore. You
saw-
can't believe nothing anymore.
You saw videos of real people that were from the community
Yep.
that were like going up and like, "Hey, my daughter," like the library and shit. Like, "Hey, my daughter goes there to read books and shit." Like, stop
Yeah,
it, cut
exactly.
it out. Da, da, da. People that lived in the community weren't, and then it's like portrayed like, "Oh yeah, look, they're trying to,
Yeah.
gain awareness or whatever, but they're ruining their own city." Well, no,
Yeah.
they're really not. It was
They're really
people from
not.
other cities coming in, trying to take advantage of the situation.
Yeah, because you got to make it look bad, so that way, the criticism will be justified. You know what I'm saying? You have to make it look bad. So if they don't agree with the march, so they go over there, they create damage, so that way all that will falls on the march. Oh, they're marching against it. They're also looting. They also break. Well, it's not the same fucking people.
Right, and it
That's
takes
for sure.
somebody with a little bit of,
Yeah.
intelligence and wherewithal to be like, well, hold on, we're talking about two different things.
Yeah, but if you're a fan, you won't
We're
listen
talking
to
about
that.
people that are marching for their rights,
Yep.
and then we're talking about a group of several different people,
Yeah.
out of state, out of county, wherever, that are either like you said, trying to incite negative emotions on it, and some people just really looking for free shit.
Yeah.
There are, and a lot of people were like, there's freaking groups of white people and stuff, and I'm just gonna say that because most of them were
Yeah.
starting it,
Yeah.
according to like the videos and stuff that I saw.
Yeah. Exactly.
And but it doesn't really matter. They could have been white, black.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
They weren't from that. They weren't from there, and they weren't there for the reason that the march was happening.
Yeah.
They only went there to try to get free shit
Yeah.
and or to create a negative
Yeah.
kind of look on the.
And the thing also about that protest was what the police was doing. I don't know if you believe that they were like taking people on unmarked vehicles and taking them away, and nobody knew who's been taking these people away on vehicles. They were not police cars or anything like that. I don't know if you heard about that.
Not 100%.
Yeah,
No.
there was unmarked vehicles, and they were just picking up people from the march and just taking them away, and nobody knows where they were taking them.
Right.
That could be a lie, just to kind of exaggerate shit, just to make things look worse than what it was. Because nowadays it's all about what you see here. They put some information there, and if you believe that, then you part of the, what is it, the cult? Part of the group.
Yeah, actually that's a good. I mean, on the same subject, I was actually watching. Candace Owens has a video called
Candace, yeah,
Candace Owens.
yeah, I
She had
know
a
who she is.
documentary or a video called.
You like her?
Called "The Greatest Lie Ever Sold." So I mean, she's okay.
Do you agree with what she is? What she says?
I don't really like follow her that much, but I am a member of the Daily Wire, so I did see her video that was called "The Greatest Lie Ever Sold,"
Yeah,
which is basically just a point and fact video about the George Floyd incident. She didn't
Yeah.
really give. She did kind of give her opinion a little bit, but most of it was facts. It was either video or facts from medical records and things like that.
right.
And I'm just, the whole point of what I'm getting at here is that if you watch all the George Floyd videos that were out on the news and all that stuff,
Mm-hmm.
it was like a long time of just what was the cop's name there?
I forgot his name.
Whatever the guy's name was, kneeling on his neck.
For 9 minutes and
Yeah,
whatever seconds.
which-
yeah.
Absolutely ridiculous. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? But if you watch, The Greatest Lie Ever Sold, or if you actually look into it more, you can probably find the video. They had George Floyd in the back of the cop car.
Yeah, and then they pull him out.
No, they didn't pull him out on because they wanted to. They were putting him in, and he was screaming,
Right.
I'm claustrophobic, and he was pushing his way back out of the car. He could have just sat there in the car, and they would have shut the door, and it would have been done.
Of course.
But he was pushing his way out, and then they also found
Right.
a shit ton of fucking fentanyl in the system.
Right. But he was handcuffed already in the back of the police car.
Yeah, but I'm saying...
There was no reason. He could try to fight his way out of it. He was never going to.
Yeah, I'm not
You know what I'm saying?
justifying what the cops did at all. I'm just saying there's more what I'm saying is there's more to the story than what
Right.
you were shown.
Oh, I
I'm
understand.
not
that.
saying that the cop should have been on his neck or anything like that. At that point, he's got his hands behind his back. He's
Yeah.
handcuffed, and there's like 4 or 5 cops around.
Exactly.
Let the guy, you know what I mean? Like, if
Let the guy
says he can't
screaming,
breathe,
yeah.
take your fucking knee off his neck. But what I'm saying is though is that if the media and their main job is journalism, which they don't do anymore, it's
No.
all propaganda. Is if their job was to journalistically tell the story,
Right.
they would have shown the whole thing and given all the facts so people could make up their own minds instead of just showing a small piece and making, you know what I mean? Like I'm just saying they're creating.
But that small piece is the piece that matters. It's the 9 minutes and plus seconds. It could be this guy could be a healthy guy with no heart condition, no drugs in his system, nothing, and you have this almost 200 or over 200-pound man leaning on his neck for 9 minutes. It
Right.
would have killed him anyway.
And I absolutely agree.
So every time you hear somebody say, "Well, he died of an overdose," I mean, you can't be that stupid, for real. You can, because
Yeah,
I
I'm
mean,
not-
it's 9. I mean, it's 9 motherfucking minutes, bro.
Dude, I used to do
9 minutes.
I used to do
That's a long time,
I used to do jujitsu, so I know when somebody's on top of you,
guy.
when somebody, in jujitsu,
Yeah.
you go like this, tap tap, and then they get off.
Right.
But especially when you first start, when somebody's on top of you, you feel very claustrophobic. You almost feel like you can't
Yeah.
breathe. After a while, you kind of get used to it, and then
Right.
you can withstand it more. But yeah, right out the go, somebody's on top of you, and it's like, oh, I can't breathe. Tap tap tap. Even though they're not even their weight's on you. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I totally get it, and I'm not saying that I'm not justifying anything that was happening. I'm just saying that the way the media portrayed the story,
course.
they just didn't give you all the information,
Of
so
course.
that you can make your own educated decision about what happened.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, it's what
I
they
still
do.
agree. Yes, Andy Chauvin, something Chauvin.
I
Something
gotta
Chauvin.
find the name of it. Like, I don't know
Something
what that.
Chauvin. I know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he totally should be in jail. He's
Yeah.
guilty. We all saw him leaning on.
Gave him
the-
like what, 25 years? They give him.
I don't know what they gave him, but
I think it was like 25.
yeah, I totally agree. I'm just saying that the media just showing the one part instead of showing the whole thing. And
Right.
that's what they do all the time.
Yeah, all the time. Doesn't matter who's in
You know what
power.
I mean? As long as they only show little bits and pieces.
It's like a switch. You know what I'm saying? Oh, is a Democrat in power? Okay, now we got to do this.
Yeah.
Is a Republican in power? Oh, now we got to do that.
I sent somebody the video from
Mm-hmm.
the last time we were here, and they said, "Wow." They said 29 subscribers in the studio is better than Joe Rogan's. Like, oh, yeah,
we just
gotta start somewhere. No.
yeah we just started. I mean, it's new. Thank you for whoever say that. Just follow, share. We got to start somewhere, and
Notifications.
exactly. I mean, this studio has been a year plus process, and it's being used obviously for the Spanish podcast. But
But you have
we still have-
substantial amount of subscribers on there. or-
yeah, we have like 561.
Yeah, and to me that's
So it's
good.
not that bad. I mean, we should have more by now, but I can tell you when we started, the content we were putting in, it was not good
Yeah.
because I didn't know what it was doing.
Right.
To begin with.
Trial by error, right?
And the cameras were shitty. Those $35 cameras from Amazon. The sound was horrible. All this equipment is all new, so it's been a long process. But no, yeah.
Getting there.
Hell yeah! And the only thing we're missing is another camera, and we'll be golden. But really appreciate people like what we have. So like I was saying about that cop at the riot over there at the Capitol, that he got hit with a extinguisher. He was murdered, but then you see people saying, "Well, he died at his house of a heart attack." Well, he got hit with a fucking extinguisher in his head first.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, how come you gonna come up with that and be like, well, he died of a heart attack. Oh, really? How did he get the fucking heart attack?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So people don't want to see. If you don't like what you're seeing, then you're gonna try to change the reality of it.
See, so that's exactly
That's the problem.
When we opened up the video and you're like, "Oh, you're part of the Republican Party," I'm like, "Whoa, hold on,"
Well,
because I'm not.
because you're very conservative.
because-
That's what
but
it
you're-
is.
I am conservative.
Right.
Okay, I have a Christian background, and a lot of my views are conservative. But I'm also smart enough to know that I don't know everything. I think
That's
the
good.
smartest people in the world know that they don't know everything.
Right.
Somebody that thinks they know everything has limited their ability to learn,
Exactly.
thus meaning that they cannot know everything. So, yeah, anyways, whatever. But I'm just saying that I'm smart enough to know that I don't know everything, that not every single point of view that I have is 100% correct, and maybe there may be flaws within my thinking because I'm a
Right.
human being. And so that's like you said, you know what I mean? If I was like 100% hardcore MAGA Republican, it's like, well, the guy got hit with an extinguisher, but he's
Yeah.
died of natural causes at his house. Like, no,
Exactly.
you know what I mean? Like, no, we're gonna look at every situation
Right.
separately. That's one thing that we could look at and look at the data and look at this and figure out what I don't really know exactly. I'm not 100% up to date with that particular.
Yeah, I saw the
story,
video. I said
but-
you could see the extinguisher flying out of this guy's hand and just shoom, boom,
wrecking
and
somebody
hit
right in
him.
the head.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, and
that's-
just I mean it's
And
ridiculous.
then he died of natural causes at his house. Like,
And then he died of a heart attack.
Yeah.
But again, he was not in his house. Did he die in his house? I thought he died at the hospital.
Oh, hospital. Is that what
Yeah,
you said?
yeah.
I thought you said house earlier.
I don't know. I'm not sure, but
It's the your English. You know what
I
I mean?
know it's
You
this.
might have said hospital, but it sounded like house. Like,
Did I
you
say
know?
hospital or did I say
House.
I don't
We're
know.
gonna have
You guys write it down.
We'll have to play it back. Maybe
Hey,
I had
hey.
too many Cervezas.
Yeah. Do me a favor, anybody who watched this video, can you kind of give me a number where my English is? Just give me a what do you call it, a range or
Yeah, a range.
yeah, give me a range where my
Scale
a
1 to 10.
scale 1 to 10 where my English is. See,
One being the worst, 10 being the best.
yes, please be gentle, okay? Be gentle. So,
And then rate my English too at the same time.
oh please stop it, stop it. So, do you think that was an insurrection for sure, or you one of those guys who believe that this was just like a normal visit to the Capitol, like that congressman say?
So again, like I don't really like to. I'll give you my opinion
Please,
from what I know,
exactly.
but I don't know. I haven't like really.
We don't know shit. We
I
just
haven't-
here talking.
Well, I haven't even really like went into the store. I haven't really looked into a whole lot of it. But from the few things that I've seen, I seen one is with the. Have you heard about the Twitter files that were just released by Elon Musk?
I heard about that, but I don't know
They-
what's in
they
it.
Basically, he's releasing emails from like the DOS, the Democratic Party,
Right.
as well as the Republican Party, but suppressing certain stories and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And they blocked Trump right around the January 6th time,
Right.
where he actually some tweets just came out. He's like, "Hey, everybody, make sure you keep it peaceful. You know, no violence, this and that." So he was advocating for that. He did actually tell, I think it was Pelosi, "Hey, you should bring in the National Guard and get some protection over here," and they
Right.
denied that. Now, again, that's on record as being true.
Right.
So they said no, and then when people went there, I heard that guards let them in. They opened the doors and let people in.
There's some
And I
footage
also heard
of
there was
yeah.
FBI agents there as shills, something like
Yeah,
that,
shields.
to kind of instigate things too. So again, I don't really know. Like, did something bad happen there? Yeah, obviously somebody died.
Yeah.
Somebody got shot too.
There was a lady who got shot, and then the cop got killed with the extinguisher, and then due to depression, a couple of the cops they
Yeah.
ended up suicide.
So there was some.
They killed themselves.
There was definitely some things that went on there.
Right.
Do I think that Donald Trump like organized and orchestrated the whole thing? I'm gonna go and say no.
Well, he tell them you got to fight like hell, or you won't have a country. So these guys were already set up to go. They were already set up, pissed
You know how many
off to
times
go
a
in.
politician has gone and be like, "We've got to fight."
Right.
That's not a call for
You
violence.
cannot use
It's
that.
not a call for violence.
Right.
We've got to fight for our rights. We got to fight for this. We got to fight for that.
Right.
Fighting in the American terminology, in the nomenclature of America over the last fucking 100 years,
Right.
fighting has been peaceful protests,
Right.
marches, things like that. Fighting for your rights.
Right.
Him saying we got to fight, blah blah blah, is not a call to violence. I
No.
don't think so.
But when he says you got to fight like hell, or you won't have a country, we all let's go march to the Capitol. I think I can find that speech, but that's what he said. Let's march to the Capitol, and I'm going with you.
Yeah, I watched that speech.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
but
you cannot say, oh,
marched to the Capitol.
right. But you can
and-
be like, oh, no, he didn't actually instigate violence. But that's you thinking it that way. If you're a MAGA person or a MAGA hat person who believe anything that comes out of this guy's mouth, I mean, there were people that saying that he was sent from Jesus, from God. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think any millionaire,
They were-
billionaire is sent from Jesus.
But you know what I'm saying? There were some people saying that he was sent from God.
Even Elon, people are like praising Elon Musk. Like, listen,
Yeah.
this guy
So there's
is one of
people,
the richest men on earth.
right?
He owns fucking what? SpaceX, Tesla. He now just fucking acquired Twitter.
Yeah.
He's got a couple other things that businesses too that I'm not aware of. This guy's one of the most powerful guys on the earth.
Yeah.
And now he's freaking all of a sudden like, oh, I'm gonna open up the files and let everybody in. Like,
Right.
hey, I think it's cool that he did that to show us kind of what's going on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
But I don't trust the guy as far as I could throw him.
No.
And people that place a lot of trust in him, I think, are idiots because
Yeah.
you don't get that freaking rich and that much power.
Yeah, he almost
and
went
you're
bankrupt.
Trustworthy? I don't. Who? Elon Musk?
Yeah. When he started with Tesla, he almost went bankrupt.
Yeah.
He ended up
Well, I
using
mean,
all
Trump-
his
Trump
life
went bankrupt
savings.
a few times.
Yeah, like
You know what I mean?
fucking 17 times.
But-
But back to the capital thing. It's like if you're one of these people who believe that this guy was sent from God or from Jesus, you're gonna do whatever you think he's saying.
Yeah.
When he says you gotta fight like hell, you're not thinking like let's peaceful protest. Fighting mean like fucking fighting. You know what I'm saying? And they have weapons, they got sticks, they have this, they have that. They have all the things that you can use as a weapon. And that's how they look at it. That's how they understood that he says, you gotta go and fight like hell. I'm coming with you. Which he didn't. Anyways. But anyways.
he
and then he was just sitting in there watching all these people just climbing like it was fucked up.
Did you hear the third person story from somebody that worked at some White House, peon or whatever that had talked to a Secret Service guy? Who said he was in the car with Trump, and Trump was Trump's like, go to the Capitol, and he's like, no, sir, we got to bring you to the White House, and he like supposedly jumped over and was I'm the president, you bring me to the Capitol.
You don't think he'll do something like that?
But if he did, so either way, either A, that story's full of shit. And plus, why wouldn't they bring on the eyewitness and not just the person that heard the person say that they heard what they, you know what I mean? But even if he did do it, then that means when he said, I'm coming with you, he tried to go with them.
But he didn't have to go in the vehicle. He could have just walked right off the stage where he was and start walking.
Yeah, true.
You know what I'm saying? If he says, I'm coming with you, give me a second, put the mic down, put the mic away, and then walk down the stairs and go. And who's going to stop him?
Let me ask you a question, though. In regards to what you were just saying earlier, if you say something, no matter what it is,
right?
If I interpret what you say to mean something else, and then I act on my interpretation of what you said, are you responsible for how I interpret it?
Of course not.
Oh, okay.
Of course not. I agree with you on that.
So then...
I agree with you on that.
Yeah, so a bunch of people are idiots.
But I'm pretty sure that if you know somebody has mental illness, it's an aggressive person with mental illness, and you tell them like, hey, listen, go over there, see that guy smoking, hit him with a rock.
Well,
and he go, hold on a second.
That's a call to violence.
Hold on a second.
Hit him with
go
a rock.
over there, hit him with statement. Go over there and go over there and push that guy, or go over there and I don't know. I just try to put, you know what I'm saying? You know where I'm going with this, right? And this person does it.
Go over there and make it very clear smoking's bad for his health.
And if he doesn't stop, you're gonna fucking punch him in the face. You know what I'm saying? If he does that,
but yeah,
then it's your fault because you started it.
If you make the call to violence, yes.
Yeah, because exactly. And if you think about it, it was a call for violence.
I don't think it was. Again, I think that's where we're going to disagree.
Maybe because my English is so bad, I see it as
you hear the word fight and you think fight,
exactly.
Fight. But like I said, in American history over the past 100 years. Fighting has been, the fight for women's rights, the fight for equality, the fight for this, the fight for that.
Right.
We're fighting, like we're fighting a power that be for everybody to kind of, it's a fight.
Okay, that's perfect. What the dictionary says.
Huh?
Can you read what it says in the dictionary about the word fighting?
Yeah, let's look it up.
Let's look it up.
Let's see what it says.
Exactly. I bet you it has to do with violence.
I mean, I'm sure that's one definition. But I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying, right? I mean,
and if you have somebody that listens to you, anything that comes out of your mouth, and he's willing to do whatever it takes.
But he did say,
you know what I'm saying?
If that's the case, though, he did say several times, peacefully. The word peacefully.
He said peacefully.
It came out a few times because I remember hearing it. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he definitely had the word peaceful in there. Yeah, so there's a few. I mean, the ones that just pop up right away, obviously,
Yeah,
action of fighting, violence, conflict,
exactly.
displaying or engaging in violence. But there's also
Exactly.
used to express encouragement, incitement, or support. Uh, that's just the first one. Merriam-Webster, if we go in there. To strive to overcome a person by blows or weapons, to engage in boxing, to put forth a determined effort. That's the one we're fighting for. Is what I was.
Exactly. So you got one out of what? Out of
Out of
10
the
or
basic,
12
well,
this
no, it's actually two. So there's one A and B,
right.
right? And then there's two, which is to put forth a determined effort. So one out of two. Like I said, it's English, so words mean more than one thing.
But
Where
you know.
and where.
But you know.
Where are you gonna wear your clothes?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're wearing clothes, but where are you? You know what I mean? Like there's words that mean more than one thing.
Yeah, but you and I know. I know.
I'm just saying, if you're gonna look at it from
a guy who didn't want to lose, a guy who doesn't want to accept the fact that he
I get it.
lost.
You look like a crybaby up there.
You know what I'm saying?
And if you look into some of that stuff, actually, I don't have a lot of information on that one. But have you followed the recent midterm elections?
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen what's going on in Arizona?
You mentioned something. What was that?
So a lot of stuff went on in Arizona. One, so it was I always want to say Ricky Lake. Remember that show, Ricky Lake?
Yeah.
I don't know why I always say Ricky Lake. Carrie Lake.
All right.
And then Katie Hobbs. So Katie Hobbs was the Democrat.
Mm-hmm.
She
won.
Carrie Lake was the Republican. Now, Katie Hobbs, her position in the state, she's like the Secretary of State, I believe, in Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
So she oversees all elections, which is so that's a conflict of interest.
Of course.
Take that for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But also you have. Just recently, I think, what was the guy's name? Ronald Good, I think, or something. He was one of the chairman or something. But basically, he was somebody that had to certify
the
election in a certain county or whatever. He had to, vote aye to certify. And he refused to do so. And so he got threats from Katie Hobbs for felonies and imprisonment if he didn't certify the election.
But not certifying the election is not a crime.
Yeah, so, it is. Well, according
you can say, no, I don't certify this. I don't agree with this.
He would have been charged with a felony for disrupting. There was a legal thing. I'd have to look it up. But yeah, there was a legal thing where they're like, if you don't certify it, you're going to be charged with felony.
What?
Years in prison. And so he went on live TV or whatever. So it's on. You can look it up. He's like, I'm voting aye under duress. I was threatened with imprisonment, felony, this, that, and the other thing. He went on this whole spiel about the founding fathers and democracy and how he doesn't agree with that.
That doesn't make any sense.
He's going to vote aye under duress because he's being threatened. Now, if you look at what happened on voting day, and the other thing is, so especially after COVID came, this became very, kind of black and white, where a lot of Democrats voting by mail, getting the early ballots, voting by mail.
It's been like this for years now.
It has been like that, but especially
it's nothing new.
When they were like, oh, it's not safe to go outside.
Exactly.
You're scared, you're gonna die, blah blah. And a lot of Republicans vote in person.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a stat that's true.
Yeah, it is.
So on voting day, was it 30 or 60% of the machines or whatever were down or had problems? There was lines that were over like 1 to 4 hours long, and sometimes by the time they even got there, the polls closed, so they were turned away.
Yep.
And so a lot of people didn't even get. Some people went to different places to try and vote, and they weren't able to. Whether the line was way too long, the voting machines weren't working, all these different things happened. And then, 2 weeks later, 90,000 votes get dropped off in mail, almost all of them for Katie Hobbs. And, so just a lot of weird kind of things. There's a lot of lawsuits and stuff going on right now. They I think, filed the motions.
Okay. So you think that there was another election that was stolen?
There was definitely some foul play going on for sure.
But where do you getting this information from, though? This guy is saying that, but what laws? That's the thing, though. He come out on TV and say, "Well, if I don't vote aye on this, if I don't certify, I'm gonna go to jail." That doesn't make any sense. Because if you don't agree with something, if you don't agree with that, then don't you have the right to say, "I don't agree with this. This was not right." And I'm going to vote no on this?
I mean, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know.
I mean, with the certification of the presidential election, how many guys are still over there and be like, no, I won't certify. Josh Hawley. Hawley was the guy with the fist. I can't stand that guy. Josh Hawley is his name. When the crowd was outside in the Capitol, he went like this.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, he was just trying to incite and then when they went inside of the Capitol, he was the first one running down the stairs. I mean, the thing about that guy, he is a politician. He is smart.
Mm.
He knows that he needs the MAGA people. He knows, but he's like really careful of how far he goes. Like right now, none of them are gonna say, "I'm gonna run for president in 2024."
Yeah.
Why? Because Donald Trump says he will.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So they're so afraid of him that none of them are gonna be like, "Okay, I'm gonna go for it,"
I was like,
which is stupid. I mean,
about-
just run for it.
the thing about Trump that a lot of people like, which again, like I said, I'm not like a huge Trumper. There's certain parts about him that I do like, but I think the thing that people like about Trump is that he's like, no, I'm here. This is what I'm doing. Like he's not where like you watch like if you look up videos of Trump giving speeches
Mhm.
or Trump going into like a room of like people, like
Yep.
a gathering or whatever, Trump just like storms right in, demands respect, front of the room, shakes fucking whoever's hand, and he's like right there. You know what I mean? Where Biden kind of like moses in, he looks around like, what am I supposed to do? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And like there's been
and we get it. Vine is really,
interviews.
it's really old.
there's been interviews where literally Biden's up there on the podium and he literally is like, all right, so they told me who I can call on, so and then he finds a piece of paper, he's like, Megan from CNN, and then she asks a question, he goes, oh, and then he picks up the Megan from CNN card, he goes, well, I think that blah blah, like he literally had pre-written people to call on and pre-written answers, and it's like Trump's just like get up there like, all right, what do you want? Fuck you, you don't make sense. Well,
Yeah,
at least he just. That's what they
It's
like.
it's an old guy that we picked. I guess because I did vote for him. We picked as a president an old guy because, yeah, I admit it. I mean, I would never vote for Trump. If Trump runs again and he wins the nomination for the Republican Party, I'm rather vote Democrats. Even though I don't agree with a lot of stuff the Democrats are doing right now, I'd rather see, and forgive me out there. Don't kill me for this. I'd rather see Kamala in there instead of see Trump.
Okay, yeah.
That's
so
just
we're gonna try and change that over the next couple weeks here. But I would challenge you to really think about that and think about why you're saying that, because one, if it was Biden versus Trump again, let's just say, which I don't think Biden's gonna run again, but if it was, would you vote for Biden again over Trump? I mean,
well,
this isn't a tough question. This should be a
it is tough because I think if Trump has another chance to become president, you would have to kill him to get him out of office.
I'm just saying
because he's gonna do whatever it takes to stay there forever.
Well, no, we have restrictions.
You know what I'm saying?
We have restrictions on that.
But what I mean is, he doesn't have to be the president, but he's gonna make sure that there's gonna be Republicans presidents winning after another. He's gonna try his best to change, twist, and do whatever it takes to make sure that right after he's done, another Republican, and then there will be no democracy in that point. Because you're going to have only one party controlling for the next 20 years, like it do in like Mexico or in some other places.
Well, the way
you know what I'm saying?
The way, I mean.
So I don't know if I will go with and that I don't know. I think I won't even vote. If it comes down to like them two again.
Yeah.
I don't think
so. I used to always say like, hey, we all need to find an independent person and vote for them, everybody. But nobody does that. They're like, no, gotta be this or that. It's like, well, you guys are keeping yourselves in the same freaking loop.
Yep.
But as far as like Biden versus Trump, like Biden just
he's old. I get it.
He's incompetent. Did you hear about the new trade that he just made for Brittany Griner?
No. What do you got?
You know who Brittany Griner is?
No idea.
Okay, so neither did I until the story came out, which is why the WNBA players are paid significantly less than NBA players. And actually, it's funny because the article that I read was kind of like throwing.
Wait a minute. You hold on. Okay, go ahead.
Hold on.
Finish that up. Let me see because I got to see where you go with this.
All right, hold on. So I found out about what happened with Brittany Griner through an article. It was like an NBC or something like that, and the writer was basically kind of like throwing in these little innuendos, like, oh, she was only in Russia because not a lot of people know, but WNBA stars have to go overseas during the off season to subsidize their income because they don't make anywhere near an NBA player, and there needs to be more equity and this and that. Well, first of all, like you just said, you don't even know who she is.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's the basketball player was incarcerated in Russia.
She was in prison. And put in the gulag in Russia, but
she just got released. Okay, I'm sorry. I
didn't know who she was. You probably didn't. Yeah,
obviously
if
not.
I said Michael Jordan, you would have been like, who?
Oh hell yeah. But I don't know. I didn't know who she was. Yeah, until the whole news.
Not a lot of people are interested in professional women's basketball. It's just the way it is.
It's boring.
So, and they make anywhere from a minimum of $60,000 a year up to like $150K. Which is still way more than I make, and I'm not going over to Russia to make it. So it's like they're like, oh, they're gonna go over to subsidize their income. Blah, blah. It's like they're making way more money than I am, and they're playing basketball.
Yeah,
I do just fine.
Yeah.
So just the whole thing, like, oh, they're being. It's like, well, first of all, supply and demand. You know
exactly.
What I mean? If you have 100,000 people that are going to watch you play basketball,
and
each of them are paying $100 and something for a ticket,
then
you should make a lot of money. But if only fucking 150 people are showing up.
It's not much again. Exactly.
Just like when I used to battle rap, you got to bring a crowd. Like your job as a battle rapper is not only to go in there and perform, but to bring a crowd to the venue that's going to pay to get in to help the league. Like you need to do your part and draw a crowd. But anyways, I'm digressing. She was imprisoned in Russia for having hashish oil in her luggage, right? So over here in America,
there's nothing.
Nobody
over there,
would care.
yeah.
But in Russia, that's a crime. It's illegal. And she should have known that because she's been to Russia several times. So, and if you're going to anybody, any American or anybody watching, if you're going to travel to another country, you should know what their laws are.
Exactly.
So that one, you're not naive, and two, you don't break other countries' laws like a stupid American.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You should know other people's laws.
I'm entitled.
Right.
I'm entitled.
So she broke the law, and then, of course, the Biden administration, she was unjustifiably detained. No, she was justifiably detained.
Yeah,
she broke
the law.
But anyways, so of course it's weed, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So and we don't want any Americans staying over there. But now there's another American that's over there. I think his name's Justin Whalen, something Whalen.
Sounds like that, yeah.
He's a Marine. He's been in prison for 4 years, and he's got I think it was 25 years altogether, if I'm not mistaken, for espionage, which the United States is saying is false. He wasn't a spy. He was just over there, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Which, if that's true, then he really is unjustifiably detained. But they traded, and this is Biden's incompetence, because Trump would have said, take it and shove it up your rear end. It was supposed to be Whalen and Brittany Griner for this other guy.
Right.
We traded back to Russia.
Right.
And Biden only got her. He didn't get the Marine.
Why you think is that?
Do you know who they traded? Do you know who we gave back to Russia?
Yeah, he was a spy. Yeah,
he wasn't a spy.
He wasn't. I thought that's what I read.
He's the most notorious arms dealer in the history of the world.
Arms dealer. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Victor Boot.
I thought it was. Spy.
You ever see the movie The Lord of War with Nicolas Cage?
It was about him.
It was about him. Yeah, this guy.
And that's the guy. And that's the guy that gave him back.
Like 800 to 1,000 ground to air anti-aircraft missiles.
Really?
40,000 like AKs, a bunch of weapons to the Middle East, to Africa, all kinds of stuff. And he's known for being one of the biggest
gun dealers.
Gun dealer, but also the direct cause of American deaths. So, like, people that he's selling guns to and stuff are killing Americans by the droves. Like, whether it's agents, this and that.
Well, that part of it, that he's direct involved him on selling guns to people who kill Americans. Well, Americans have done that themselves. They supply weapons to the Middle East, and then they go fight against them after they already provide the weapon. This is, we have done. I said we because I'm a U.S. citizen. You can't get rid of me. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, you did it the right way though. So
exactly. But we have done that in the past. We give weapons to countries in the Middle East, and then go over there and fight, and then Americans get killed with their own weapons. This is nothing new on that part. I think it's all about what's going to bring you votes, because as much as we understand she broke the law, and she should definitely pay for what she did in Russia. She's a big news. The other guy, the Marine that you're talking about, he's been incarcerated for 25 years. Only his family remembers him. And now us, because somebody brought that up. But I guarantee you, most people didn't even remember that guy's been in jail in Russia. So she is news. Everybody's talking about her. So politicians are gonna do that. Okay, so this is I'm gonna use this so I can get more votes. And that's what he did. It's all about staying in power.
Right. So, and
It's
yeah,
right? No. It's wrong, but that's what he did.
I get what you're saying, and yes, most politicians, if they're worth their salt, should be doing
Yeah.
stuff that's going to get them more votes. But I guess my question on the incompetence is: does he really think that trading an NBA, WNBA
Mm-hmm.
player for the most notorious arms dealer in history is going to get him more votes or less votes? Because right now, a lot of people think he looks fucking stupid.
Depending on who these people are. Again, they think that the amount of time she was gonna do in jail for the reason it
It
was,
was like 8 years, I think. Which is
it was too
yeah,
much.
that's
That's a lot
for, our
for what it,
standards. Right? Yeah.
you know what I'm saying. That's a lot, and obviously you see the social media they use this and turn it into something political. You know, oh, they're doing now because, you know, Russia hate us, and that's why they putting all the 8 years on her just to kind of punish America, and they sold it like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So once you eat it that way, be like, oh shit, fucking Russia is doing that to us, blah blah blah. And once he does that trade and she gets released, he's a hero. It's all about what you can sell and how you sell it, and that's what he did. You know, somebody tell him, hey, this is a good trade, do it. But the people that don't agree with him, obviously, is going to start pissed off because the other guy's still in jail. The Marine is still in jail.
You know who I heard facilitated the trade? Was the Saudi prince.
What?
Yeah. I heard he was the one who facilitated the trade, like, you know, kind of like the
Yeah, the middleman.
between them. And yeah, he was the one making fun of Biden just not too long ago. Yeah,
So-
so I'm pretty sure it was the Saudi prince there.
God damn.
Which it's kind of funny, but
Hey, going back real quick on the mail-in voting, Vermont was the first one who implemented that in 1896.
Mhm.
So this has been happening for many, 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 many years. So people getting pissed off that about mail-in voting now, to me, is kind of ridiculous.
well, so
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I get it. You guys lost a couple elections, and it's easy to blame it to mail-in voting and all that. I get it. I understand.
okay, now you
You
think-
guy lost, and then now there's Arizona thing. You know, I get it.
So all right, so mail voting 18 what?
1896 was the first. Yeah, it was Vermont who started this whole thing.
So I'm gonna go out on
and by 1938, another 42 states follow on.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that when that was institutionalized and made into effect, that it was primarily used
mhm.
for people that were either disabled or
Mhm.
people that were going to be out of their current state, which is
Yeah.
mainly what it was for. Hey, I'm going to be leaving. Let me submit. And it was mail in or pre-voting or whatever. I'm pretty sure. But I'm saying the way that it's being used now is being used way more than it's ever been used in the history of the
Yeah.
United States.
Yeah.
You're talking about millions of votes coming in through the mail.
Yeah.
That's not the way.
But it's doable though.
Yeah, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with
Just
it.
because
but
just because two elections were or couple elections were lost doesn't mean that the system doesn't work. It's been there for many
That
years.
just reminded me. So the other thing about the Arizona election, so there was actually people from the election that were in like the
Mhm.
election runners or whatever they're called. People
Yeah.
in the places where the voting was happening.
Yep.
Both sides, Democrats and Republicans, because it's usually 50-50, roughly, right?
Yeah.
But at like congressional hearings or state hearings or whatever, they came out and they're like, hey, you know, and basically they worked, it was like door 1, 2, and 3 or something like that on the
Yep.
voting machine. I don't know exactly, but they're going on about door 1, 2, and 3, and 3 was supposed to have none in it. And then at the end of the election, there was like some in 3 that weren't supposed to be there. And also, when people came in to vote, they was supposed to, they would check off like, you know, how many people voted. So they basically had in the particular circumstance that the lady was talking about, like, let's just say, for instance, it was like 1,150 votes or whatever it was. I
Whatever
don't
it was,
remember.
yeah.
And when they did the tally at the end, they had like 1,400. So they had like 300 unaccounted for votes because only so many people came in to vote, but they had like 300 more than the people that came in to vote. You know
Did
what I
they
mean?
find out what happened?
So this is all coming out now. This is all, there's still investigations and stuff being done, but that was somebody on a live thing under oath saying, hey, this is what we found as a discrepancy. You know, we need to look into this. So it's just kind of weird things.
It is. It is weird, but I mean, another thing that is kind of weird is when with this whole mail-in voting thing that they were saying it was fraudulent and there was so many questions about it. A lot of the people who actually got caught cheating on the election were Republicans. There was a guy on video saying this, you know, one of those dinners that they do to get money and whatever. And he was saying, you know, try to tell people what to do, how to cheat it, how to vote twice. And most of the people that you see on the news getting caught on cheating on voting was actually Republicans. And they're the first ones saying that, you know, the other side's cheating. What's up with that?
Yeah. So, well, real quick, just the election thing. Yes, both sides cheat because both sides are corrupt.
Right.
Both sides are evil. Like I said, that's why I'm not a Republican. I'm conservative. You know what I mean? I'm usually conservative, but I'm not like a Republican. I think they're both sides are corrupt. And kind of like with the Twitter files that were leaked, both sides were requesting information to be censored.
Yeah.
The Hunter Biden laptop was censored per the request of the DOC.
Is that a real thing?
Oh, that is. Oh, I have.
Is that a real thing about
yeah.
the
It's
the laptop?
It's verified, 100% real. It's his laptop. It's got thousands of emails, text messages because it was an Apple device, so it had all of his like text messages and everything like that on it, and fucking everything. And I got a book. It's called The Laptop from Hell, where they just kind of somebody narrates it, but they're going through like dates and then like emails, dates, text messages, you know, and they're basically going through this.
So what was in it? What I mean, I never care about the story at all.
Yeah.
So what was in it?
So,
what was the big deal?
So right now, the one I have is an audiobook. It's like 7 hours long. I'm like 45 minutes into it, so I'm not very far into it. There's a lot of stuff, I guess, on there, but right now they're just going over like just the mess of a life that this kid had. I say kid, he's like fucking like 45, 50 years old, but like smoking crack, renting hookers online, having him come to his thing, using his dad's credit card to pay for him, Secret Service coming to his hotel, bringing him back to Washington, have his daddy slap him on the butt, you know, and sleeping with his dead brother's widow after like 3 weeks of him dying, like, you know, just being a mess. But he's also involved.
But out of all that, the only thing that I can see that we should care about is the use of the Secret Service taxpayer money. Outside of that, whatever he does with his life,
I'm only 45 minutes into it.
Why would care? Oh, okay.
It's going to go more into the business details.
Okay.
With Ukraine, they briefly mentioned he had deals with Ukraine, which. You know what I mean? You can kind of put some time. Anyway, so there's a lot more. I'm not done with the book yet.
Okay.
Just scratch the surface. A lot of information there. But anyways.
How legit are these guys? They're actually doing this. How legit are they?
Real,
because
so it's.
I mean, this like pictures of emails. It is legit, 100% legit.
Yeah. So if you actually look at it, it is legit, which is why it was requested to be suppressed on Twitter. During the 2020 election. Which it was requested to be because that would have, a lot of people said if they would have known the full Hunter Biden laptop story, they would have voted differently. That, you know what I mean? Yes, because they would have, because of the ties that Biden. Anyways.
I think people are exaggerating on that because.
I think so. If you know the different deals, like I said, I've only scratched the surface. I don't know a whole lot about it. So what I do know right now, it just sounds like a party boy who's rich.
Exactly.
And so far, that's what I have. So
it's like Trump Jr.
Privileged party boy.
A Trump Jr. type of guy.
You know what I mean?
Because, I mean, I'm not saying, I don't know this for a fact, but there's a lot of things to be saying about Trump Jr. You know, use of cocaine, a party boy, kind of the same line of what we're talking about.
I wouldn't put it past him, you know?
Exactly. I mean, I don't know this for a fact. I'm just repeating what other people are saying. So don't sue me. I don't have no money.
So, all right. So a couple things though, real quick. I did want to bring up a few things. Just like kind of the state of our nation and where it's going, and just like what people allow and think are cool and think are okay, and it's kind of like what we were talking about last time, but a little bit. So like, one, you get this Little Caesars commercial that's on NFL every time you watch like an NFL game, and so you get this little kid. He looks like I don't know, maybe 9 or 10, and he looks at his dad. He's sitting on the couch. He goes, "Dad, where do sponsorships come from?" And his dad's holding a football and a piece of pizza. And he's like, "Well, son, when a pizza and a football really love each other." And then he goes, "I mean, really love each other." And he goes like,
"No way."
He goes, "Well, that's where sponsorships come from." And he goes, "Oh." And then it pulls back, and you got Matthew Stafford sitting on the edge of the couch with a box of pizza on his lap. And he's like this. And he goes, "So, what do you say there, Billy? You want to take a bite out of that pizza in slow-mo?"
No.
And he goes, "I sure do, quarterback Matthew Stafford." And
no.
He goes like this.
No way.
I swear, I'm like, dude, that is the most disgusting fucking thing I've ever. Like, clearly, like, where do sponsorships come from? It's like, where do babies come from,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And
I
then,
got you.
What a
I
guy
got
and a girl, right? The whole innuendo's there. And then you got Matthew Stafford. And "Hey, you want to take a bite out of that pizza in slow-mo?" Yeah, it's fucking fucked up. I saw that commercial. I'm like, are you fucking serious? Yeah,
that is messed up.
I wish my laptop could hook up. I'd show you the commercial. It's freaking sick.
I'm gonna look at that shit up.
It's crazy.
I gotta look that shit up.
Yeah. So the other thing was, I did have. I just want to go with the whole like just how sensitive and shit people are. One of our guys was doing some work at one of the local hospitals up in the Lakes region.
Yep.
So he sent me a picture of one of these cards that he found in the hallway or whatever. So I Googled it and I got the picture here. But basically, it's a little card that you bring in with you to the doctor, and it says, "Please don't weigh me unless it's really medically necessary.
Don't weight me.
If you need my weight, please tell me why, so that I can give you, the doctor, my informed consent."
What?
Now on the back, it says, "Why? Because most health conditions can be addressed without knowing my weight. When you focus on my weight, I get stressed, and that's not healthy."
Aww.
Yeah, and then it goes,
Aww.
"Weighing me every time I come in for an appointment and talking about my weight like it's a problem perpetuates weight stigma, in parentheses, unknown and serious health risk." So me telling you that you're fat, and of course, I'm obviously fat, but at least I know I am, and I know if I want to be healthier, I'm going to lose some weight.
What the?
If the doctor telling you you're fat, it gives you a weight stigma, like, what are you talking about?
That's,
and then it
that's
says,
way too sensitive.
and then it goes on to say this: "I pursue healthy behaviors regardless of my weight status."
So it's already.
All right, you're not. If you're fat, okay, look. That's like, put the camera on me. Put the camera on me real quick. Look, okay, if I sit there and say to you straight in your face, "I'm pursuing healthy lifestyle choices," then I'm lying to your face, okay? Because I am not pursuing healthy lifestyle choices.
Oh my God.
Now, if I want to, you know, and it's funny because I do know a lot about health, which is funny because actually I was reading the Bible the other day, not to get into the Bible, but it does say
that's yeah.
there's a verse.
I like to get into that kind of stuff, but
actually, I know a lot about. We could actually go on for hours about that, but anyways, there was just a quick verse. It said, "I'll give you the English verse. It's Old English, but basically it says, if you know something to be true, and you're not following that truth, then you're a dumbass." Basically, what I'm saying, you're a dumbass. It's gonna make you fall, right?
Yep.
And so it's funny because, like, I do know a lot. I do know a lot about health. I've been in different stages of, you know, physical health as well as mental and things like that. And I'm just not. I'm not following that right now. And actually, that did stick out to me. Like, you know what? I do need to.
To work on that. Yeah.
Doing what I know is true and what I know I should be doing.
Exactly.
But yeah, if a doctor weighed me and said, "Hey, bro, you got to lose like fucking 75 pounds," I wouldn't be mad at the doctor. You know what I mean? I'd be like, "Oh, yeah, thanks for the heads up." Like, I mean, you know, it's good, good for the reminder.
That's messed up that they're so sensitive about that. I mean,
you go to the doctor.
They do that. They weigh you in just to know how much medicine to give you. Is it not the reason why they do that?
Well,
Is it now part of
There's
it?
a plethora of reasons.
Yeah.
Remember we brought up
Plethora, yeah,
we
I
did-
know.
there were
You
levels.
brought that, but see, I didn't even ask you what it was because I
helping
already
you,
know.
yes. Yeah, I wanted to just
Thank
bring
you.
that back up again.
Thank you very much.
But there's so one what is your body mass? What is your
Yeah.
weight? How much of a dosage, if we're gonna give you medicine, should we give you?
Exactly.
Which they should really cut back on the fucking medicine altogether.
Holy fucking shit.
That's really like basically like it's not even curing diseases; it's treating symptoms.
Yeah.
Most of it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why like I'm glad for doctors stuff like if I break my leg or something like that, I can go and they can fix it. But like a lot of chronic diseases and stuff can be just cured by like healthy eating and
Yeah.
whatever. But
Yeah, go ahead.
last thing though, we're gonna just keep moving right along. I lost the fudge crackers. I lost the page, but there's a private school in Chicago. I guess it costs like upwards of $40,000 a year to send your kid there. Remember we were talking about private schools the other day a little bit.
Yep. Oh yeah, with the whole book over there back home. Yep.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of things. But so this private school during Pride Week. So Project Veritas is like a journalistic company or whatever, and they basically send in these people with like hidden cameras and they interview people without them knowing,
Really?
like in a party setting or whatever. And usually it's either like a pretty girl or if the guy's gay, it'll be like a guy that pretends like he's gay. But then they'll get these people to say things
Yeah.
that they normally wouldn't probably say. And the dean of this school was proud and was like, "Oh yeah," he's like, "Private. We had this LGBTQI plus AAA
Right.
come in and they were passing around dildos and butt plugs to the
Whoa.
I swear he said,
No,
I'm
no.
gonna show
You're
you the video.
lying.
I
You're
swear.
lying. There's no way.
No, it's true. And they actually came on defending the guy. The school did after the fact. But anyways, he legit said, and then this is what else he said. He goes, they were passing around butt plugs and dildos. The kids were just playing with them, and then they were going over the differences between lube and spit.
Stop it.
I swear, he's
Stop
on video.
it.
He's on video saying it. He's the dean of the school, and it's like, and so I don't even care what age. Even if it was seniors in high school, that's still a little much for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but I think it was. I don't know the age group actually. I'm not even gonna speculate on the age group, but I would assume it was high school. It had to have been high school.
Yeah, they got to keep
There's
that.
no
out.
way. Although you never know in today's day and age, but yeah, like, would you want your kid?
No.
Now you're paying $40,000 a year for your kid to go here, and then they're gonna pass around dildos and butt plugs and tell your daughter the difference between spit versus lube. Like, is that fucking?
Fuck.
Who does that? And then he's like, so the guy interviewed was like, oh, he's like, so everyone was cool with that? Like, nobody said anything? He's like, no. He's like, just queer sex. Like, yeah. Legit, he's like, did the parents know? He's like, no, they don't know. They don't need to know.
Not something going back on something that you mentioned about they got to cut back on medicine. I was watching a documentary in Netflix. It's called the Xanax.
Oh,
Xanax?
I didn't see it, but I saw the I've.
That's the name of it. Am I pronouncing it
It's
correctly?
like Xanax.
Xanax. Yeah, take your pills.
Yeah, Xanax is the
That's
antidepressant fucking.
right. But that's pretty. I mean, according to how the people talk about that, it's pretty amazing how that works. I mean, it even got me curious. Like, holy shit! So you got anxiety and all that, and you not so much depressed. The people that were talking about that, it was because they have too much anxiety, and once they take that pill, they said all my problems goes away. I was like, not really. They don't go away. It's like you don't think about them anymore, but they still there. Once you get off your freaking high, once you come back to reality, all those problems are still sitting there waiting for you. So have you taken that pill? You know how it works?
So, yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that, right? Because they say that.
Well, I get. There's nothing wrong with anything unless you abuse it, right?
Exactly.
So
I mean, alcohol is legal, and
yeah,
we get really fucked up.
It's funny because there's people that drink that judge other people that drink because
exactly
of how much they drink. You know what I mean? So,
exactly.
Yes. So yeah, absolutely. Yeah. To be honest, I've had my fair share of issues with
right
substances in the past. I have taken Xanax.
We don't have to go in detail on that.
Yeah, but I have tried Xanax. It basically what it does is it just numbs you. You know what I mean? So if you're scared or whatever. For me, it wasn't because I was scared. Or just, hey, this mixed with this,
Yeah.
maybe messed up. But what I would say is that, yeah, it doesn't make anything better. It just numbs you. So if you're nervous to do something, and then you take the pill, and then you're numb, and then you go do it, you didn't really achieve anything.
No.
And so what I tell a lot of people too, especially when it comes to social anxiety, is everybody has a level of nervousness, no matter, if people are doing things, especially if it's out of their norm,
Right.
there's going to be a level of nervousness, and that's
Of
there
course.
for a reason.
Yeah.
It's there because, as far back as you go, if you're going to do something that you've never done before, it makes sense to be a little nervous, which
Of
makes
course.
you more cautious about what you're doing so you don't kill yourself, back in like nature,
Mhm.
if you see a freaking lion and all of a sudden you get nervous because you got sharp teeth and shit, then you're nervous, or you don't go over and start petting them like, oh, you took Xanax and went
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
hey buddy, and then you probably
Yeah.
get mauled to death. So
Yeah.
there's a reason why people are nervous. It's
Yeah.
natural.
There was a doctor saying that reaction is a natural reaction back in the caveman type. You know what I'm saying? Back in those days with the we didn't know anything, and
Right.
then that sensation, that nervousness is what pushed you to, if you get chased by a lion, you run faster. You know what I'm saying? Like it helps you to react
Right, it
quickly.
gets the fight or
Yeah,
flight thing going,
exactly.
you know what I mean?
Yes.
Get your blood flowing.
Damn it, I got to learn English. So, yeah, it does help you to kind of react a lot faster.
Yeah.
So, that is supposed to be something completely normal. So, it kind of makes no sense. Why would you drink the pill to kill something that is supposed to be normal? Like,
Right.
this is how you're supposed to react when you are under a lot of stress.
Right, and to
Not
that,
judging anybody. I mean, take your Xanax. That's okay. I mean, I'm just saying.
to that effect though is also, you're right, it is natural and stuff like that. But also, why would you take a pill when you could overcome that naturally? So like,
Yeah.
I'll give you a good example. And being most people, public speaking is like a number one fear.
Yeah, I
Or
can't
it's
do
like,
it.
like to get up in front of a group and to talk and stuff.
Yeah.
It's just very nerve wracking. And it goes into, when you get into like antisocial behavior, people just literally going into a public store and talking to a clerk is scary to them.
Yeah.
And social media, video games, stuff like that,
Oh,
is
yeah.
not helping.
Not at
we
all.
can go into that. But anyway, so when I was back when I was like 23, 24, I was going through some things, and then I ended up started going to a faith-based addictions program at my mom's church. And basically, it was Friday nights, group people get together, and there was like the main director guy,
Mm-hmm.
his assistant director, and then everybody else. And they had these little prayer cards, and then you could fill one out if you wanted to. You could just write like a little thing that you wanted to pray for or whatever. You give it to the assistant director. And during one of the parts of the thing, the assistant director would come up and he would pray over all of the requests. Microphone,
Right.
pray over all the requests in front of like a huge group of people. There was like 50 to 100 people there. And so anyway, I'd been going there for a while. The director and the assistant director were going on vacation. So they asked another guy to kind of fill in as the director role, and they asked me to kind of be like the assistant for the night or whatever. And so I went there, and I had no public speaking experience at all. And the guy that was filling in was like, hey, you going to want to pray over the request tonight? And I'm like, whew, no thank you.
No way.
Not me. And he's like, okay. Well, I didn't realize this guy was super nervous. And so he's up there and he's talking, he's doing his thing, and then he totally spaced it, and he goes, hey, Ken, you want to come up and pray over these requests? I got 100 people going, looking at me, and I'm like, now I'm not going to be a bitch. I'm
No.
like, no, I'm not doing that. So I fucking walk up there because I'm like, now you put me on the spot.
Yeah.
But I'm walking up, my fucking legs are shaking.
Yeah.
And then he's like, and then as I was walking up, he realized, he's like, oh shit, he said no, right? So he kind of like whispers, he's like, just say a quick prayer. You don't have to pray over like all the, just say a quick little, So I
Yeah.
went up there. I literally said like a quick little like, "Hey, thanks for being here. Thanks for letting us be here.
Right.
Blah, appreciate it." But I was like, my voice was trembling. I was so fucking scared.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like sitting there doing this, right? And then months later, I end up becoming the assistant director, and I'm praying over these requests every week. And it was like,
Yeah,
oh yeah,
it was going.
requests. Yeah, no problem. I'd go up there, pray over all the requests, microphone in front of everybody, no
Yeah.
problem. Wasn't scared at all.
Yeah.
Because I did it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
So I'd say if you have like social anxiety, one thing you can do is just go to like a store, like a grocery store,
Yeah.
and just ask a random person if you know what time it is. Hey, do you know what time it is?
Yeah.
Just real quick. And then most of the time they're like, yeah, it's, and then you get that little euphoria from overcoming a fear,
Yeah.
and then you just move on.
Yeah.
You do that until that becomes normal, and then, you know, next time you're in line, be like, wow, can you believe all the snow we're getting, or something? You know what I mean? Just stupid little things.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
if you're really scared of doing that, if you're like,
Yeah.
there are people that are petrified to talk to other people.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's like if you just do it over and over and over again, it'll become like second nature. You'll be normal.
Yeah.
You don't need to take pills.
That happens to me. I went on the club to present somebody a singer to go on stage. So you know, you go out there, you have to kind of chat with the crowd. I never done that,
Yep.
and I was up there for like, I don't know, 5 minutes, and it feels like I was there for a month.
Oh yeah.
It's
yeah.
like my throat
Yeah.
hurts because I would start talking and it was going so fast, like I couldn't stop talking
Yeah.
at all. And you see like this club full of people, the guys ready to go come stage and start singing, and I'm just there like just
Yeah.
saying all kinds of dumbass stuff. It wasn't even in English; it was in Spanish. You know what I'm saying? So it should be a lot easier. But again, everybody's looking at you. Everybody's looking in one direction,
Yeah.
and everybody's looking at. I was up. I was.
You could feel.
Oh
it.
my God. I was up there with one of the guys, and then another one of my guys from the Spanish podcast. He walked up on stage and he saved my ass. He grabbed the other mic. As okay, everybody here tonight, we have blah blah blah. And he said the name of the singer. The band started playing. The guy went on stage, and I was like, "Holy shit!" It's like
Hey,
I was like, I never done this before, and I was so because even doing this here in the studio, the first few videos that I did, I was nervous. Like in this, it was nobody here. It was just me and my cousin.
Yeah.
You'll see here, just he was sitting over there off camera, and I was just talking all kinds of stupid stuff. Then we try to go live on Facebook, and that's when I started getting nervous because I see like 10, 15 people watching you and writing comments, and you know, to me it was really, really uncomfortable. But for that to go, like you said, you know, you can start just asking what time it is, just kind of a little by little, but to go from there to take a pill, it's like, I don't understand, you know, how come people cannot overcome that? Maybe because I don't have anxiety. You know, maybe I have to put myself in their shoes. One of the ladies in that documentary, she was sexually abused in the army. So, and she says that is where all her anxiety came from, because she was sexually abused and all that. So, I mean...
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't know. I couldn't speak to that fact, but I feel like I've always wondered, like, what is anxiety, and I feel like the best way it's explained is like a nervousness.
That's what it is. Because
So it's
they mentioned the stomach.
Like butterfly in your stomach
exactly.
Thing, like, but and maybe like to a severe extent or something, but like you could totally overcome it. And people need to realize that their brains and their bodies are way more powerful than they know. You don't need a magic pill to solve your problem.
Yeah.
You could literally, like I said, you know, train yourself, do little steps here and there, baby steps, and get yourself to a point where you would like laugh at the fact that you were scared to do something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I went after that happened, I've been on stage like 4 times.
Right, yeah. And it's
you know what I'm saying? And now it's like whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because most of the people that are watching me doing what I'm doing on stage, they won't do it. You know what I'm saying? They look at me like, oh my God, he's out there doing, but they won't even dare to, to do what I was doing. It is nothing. It was like a couple of minutes, but you have to like keep the crowd going. So when the guy comes on stage and starts singing, you know, everybody's like ready for it.
That was like when I did my debut battle rap. You know, a lot of people, because of course they've seen first timers come up there, and they're very nervous. They're, you know, choky. So like,
it's gotta be a hell of an experience.
I had one like major like choke, but I was like, fuck, and then I was like, okay, yeah, got it, and then I came back, but I didn't forget because I was nervous. It was just something that, you know, but a lot of new time, like first comers and stuff, they're very like they don't project their voice, they don't like dominate the room. You know what I mean? Like I didn't have like, they were like, wow, it looks like you've been up there like 100 times.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, that's from my experience of public speaking in the past.
Right.
Like I just told you about and stuff like that. Like, you know what I mean? You combine all that stuff together, and if you know what you need to do then even though I still was nervous, I was nervous.
Right,
Like,
right.
up
But
there,
you were able to control
a
it.
crew full of freaking people that I
Right.
don't know, and I'm about to be talking some shit to this kid.
Not only that, you're going to talk in with attitude.
Yeah, so I was,
You got to be calling
I
him
was
names
nervous,
and
but I
shit.
knew
It's like,
how to like portray myself so that it didn't
That's
look
crazy.
like I was nervous. You know what I mean? And yeah, I was told, all from pretty much everyone that watched, like, wow, dude, like,
it's like the guys on the Spanish podcast. They see me doing this, how loose I am, talking and making all the jokes and be like, oh my God, you act like you've been doing this for a long time. It's like, well,
yeah,
it's been a year. I've been learning a lot. And that's why I hesitate so much to do it in English, because I know my English is limited. I can speak
you're
it.
fine.
No,
You're
I'm fine, but
Come on, I
it's
pick
so
on
many
you.
words that I cannot pronounce correctly. And as much as I want to say, oh, I didn't want to start the English one because of this, and that, and whatever. No, I was nervous to do this in English. That's what it took
Yeah,
so long for us to start now. I could have started 6 months ago, but I wasn't comfortable. I was not comfortable at all. And that's why it took so long. So
I mean, I joke around with you, but you get your point across. Like, obviously, we talk.
I
all
try
the
my
time.
best.
There's never any time you say something where I'm like, I have no idea what you're saying.
Yeah.
If I'm joking around, I'm like, oh, what? But
Yeah, exactly.
like, remember when you were trying to say vicarious, but you said bicurious?
Yeah, exactly.
Remember that? But it's funny because I was like into like learning Spanish, so I knew why.
Yeah.
The B and the B.
Yeah.
That was hilarious though.
Something with
He's
vacation.
like, bicurious?
Yeah.
Like, no, you mean vicarious?
Yeah. It's just kind of messed up.
Yeah.
Going back on the political side of it.
We're gonna have to wrap it up.
Yeah, let's wrap it out. Let's do another 10 minutes. So you set on voting for Trump if he runs again.
That's not what I said.
No, but I'm asking you. Is that what
Oh,
you're
so
doing?
that's a question?
As a question.
Oh,
Is
so
that a definite? Or who you want to see running? Okay, he already said he's running, and everybody is like
I'd
afraid.
like to see Ron DeSantis run. I think Ron DeSantis.
If he runs, I can vote for him.
Ron DeSantis has what appears, again, they're all politicians.
Yeah.
I don't trust any of them as far as I can tell them. But what you can do is you can look at their actions,
Yeah.
things that they've come out openly and said.
Mm-hmm.
I'm for this, I'm against this. No, he doesn't meander around the bush, so to speak. Okay, he says straight point and blank, no,
Yeah.
I do not think this is acceptable for kids in school.
Yeah. If he runs, I
You know,
can vote
things
for
like
him.
that. Yeah,
Without
so
a question.
he's a man that apparently has principles and morals that holds to them,
Right.
and he's a politician, so he doesn't go jabbing off at the draw every 5 seconds and
Right.
tweeting out insane, crazy things that apparently give people PSTD. What is it? Post traumatic stress PTSD.
PTSD.
Wow.
I think if he runs, he got my vote without a doubt.
I would vote for him.
And
Again,
if it comes back to Trump and
if it's Trump and Biden, I mean, come on,
and
you gotta admit,
Biden,
is not.
I won't vote. I think I'll just stay home
on.
and
You're gonna tell me that you don't think, as much as you've heard about Trump and all the propaganda and stuff, which some of it's true, some of it's not. Like, okay, think about this: all the investigations and stuff they've done, they haven't been able to find anything worth putting him in prison for.
they won't ever put him. Even
But-
if they find something, they won't do it.
But I'm just saying,
Even if they find something, they won't do it
you're telling me
because they're all buddies. You know what I'm saying?
how is Biden is just so incompetent?
Put it this way.
What has Biden done good for this country in the last 2 years? What has he done that has significantly improved the lives of Americans in this country?
It could be a bunch of things. I won't.
bunch? Wow,
It could be.
I want, like,
I
one.
said.
Just
I
give me
said.
one.
I said could be. I'm not sure because to be honest
what
with you,
has he done?
I haven't followed up so much on what he has done since the whole election happened. I believe it or not, I've been trying to stay away from it
I
as
know
much as I
butter's
can.
$8 a fucking pack now.
Yeah.
Fucking gas is like fucking
Yeah, but you
$4.
know what happened, right? I mean, obviously we're all locked out for over a year. Obviously, prices of things went down, but as soon as we all got released back on the street, it's supply and demand. Something that used to cost $1 now costs more because there's more people trying to buy the same thing. So that brings the prices up. That's how it works, and you know that. So saying that he is responsible for the prices of goods nowadays, it's wrong. You know how it works. You know, we all out again, and we all buying the same stuff, and obviously it costs more because there's more people try to buy the same thing.
So,
Is it not how it works? You tell me, because
so I'm not an economist, but I would
neither
say,
am I. But is it
I would
not
say
how it
what,
works?
What you're saying appears to be true. So yes,
Right.
if there's a demand for something,
Right, the price
the
go
supply
high.
is low,
Yeah,
then the price goes up.
exactly.
Now, why is that? Yeah, maybe, lockdowns, this and that, maybe supply chain issues that weren't handled correctly from the regime that's currently in power.
In
Also-
2 years,
Also, do you think that maybe sending billions and billions of dollars overseas to other countries and then printing more money doesn't cause for any inflation?
this has been done for a long time. It's nothing
Doesn't
new.
it doesn't matter. Does it make it
Well,
right?
it
for
does.
them to
It
do
does
now?
matter because it does matter because it's being brought up to attention now. Like this is
No,
something new.
It's always been brought up. Every
I
time
know, but
anybody does it.
But
they're
again,
like,
but
"What are you doing?"
they try to put it like it's new. It's not new.
Have you heard of the FTX little scandal thing going on?
No.
The big FTX is like a crypto coin, so it's based down in like Bahamas or something like that. But
Really? I'm going to Bahamas next week.
so check this out.
Should I? Is that something I can buy over there in Bahamas?
I wouldn't if you don't want to lose your money. But
okay.
so basically, FTX, this company started out, and of course I don't know all the ins and outs, but basically, the company started out cryptocurrency.
Mhm.
Bunch of people invested in it.
How much you know about crypto before you continue? You know a lot about this stuff.
know about as much as I'm about to say right now. I don't know a whole lot. We gotta wrap it up here. But FTX, cryptocurrency company, I think it was based down like Bahamas or something like that. The Democratic Party, because they're currently in power,
Mm-hmm.
donating billions of dollars to Ukraine for their war, but Ukraine was donating or investing,
Investing, yep.
millions of dollars into FTX. And who's the number one Democratic donation funder?
What was it?
FTX. So they were taking your tax money,
Mm-hmm.
sending it to Ukraine, who then invested in FTX, who then donated back to the Democratic Party, which is
Multiplying the money.
the biggest money laundering scheme in fucking history. Okay, now this company's going under, and this guy's like, "Oh, I don't know what's going on. Jeez, I don't know." It's fucking sick. And of course, I'm not saying like, yeah, of course, this particular instance is Democrats.
Right. But
And
yeah, you got to
Look
bet
at-
money.
like,
There's
I
a
mean,
bunch
we
of
can go back,
Republicans.
dude, I
in
used to talk shit about George fucking Bush and the whole
yeah, he was an easy target.
the whole 9/11 thing when billions or trillions of dollars or whatever went missing.
Yeah,
And did you know about that?
I heard about
There
that.
was like a bunch of money missing.
yeah,
And then all of a sudden 9/11 happens and two planes go into the Twin Towers.
mm-hmm.
And then
One at
another
the,
plane
Pentagon,
went
yeah.
down somewhere. And then the one
in
that
New
hit
Jersey and another at the Pentagon.
the
or
one that
something.
hit the Pentagon, people were like, we didn't see any, like, if a plane crashed into a building, you didn't see a plane part somewhere.
Yeah.
Like a fucking engine, a wing, something. Like, it doesn't all just disintegrate.
Right.
We didn't see it. Was just like a fucking explosion. Like
Right.
a missile fucking hit the thing. And it hit the exact section of the Pentagon that held all the records. Yeah, come on, dude. Yeah. Like, seriously, dude.
Oh
Are we
my
that fucking
God.
stupid?
Oh
Right?
my
and then
God.
you had George Bush go on fucking when the whole Putin and fucking Ukraine thing
Yeah,
happened.
yeah.
And he's like, oh, the decision of one man to unjustifiably invade Iraq. Ukraine.
Yeah, I saw
And he
that.
goes, "Oh,
I
I'm
saw
getting
that.
old." Like, dude, exactly.
And he laugh about it because he know.
Yeah,
he know.
He knows. So, like I'm saying, I'm not 100% Republican because I think they're all fucking crooked.
Yeah, they are.
I think we should really fucking empty the whole thing out and restart.
Even if you start a new party, because this is what happens.
I know,
let's say there's a third party happening, and what's the first thing millionaires are gonna do? All right, so I'm gonna invest some money on you,
right. And then you gotta.
but guess what? I need you to regulate this and that for
Yeah,
me.
exactly. Yeah.
It happens everywhere. It happens like in Dominican Republic right now. Our president, he's trying his best to fix the country, but what happened is a lot of people spend a lot of money for him to get there.
Yeah.
So now he owes a lot of favors.
Yep.
So now his own people are destroying his legacy.
Yeah.
So as much as he wants to do for the country, he ain't gonna do shit. Because every time he does something, there's another guy from his own party who's gonna destroy. The difference is in Dominican Republic, we have like 4 different parties that we can choose from, but they're all corrupt.
Yeah.
They're all corrupt.
Do you know the 2 richest companies in the entire world?
China and who else?
No, I'm sorry. Did I say countries?
Yeah.
The 2 richest companies.
Companies. Apple and who else? What else?
Nope.
Not Apple?
Nope.
What, Amazon?
You probably never even heard the names before.
Maybe.
BlackRock and Vanguard. And
Vanguard. I heard
Vanguard and BlackRock, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, BlackRock is the parent company to Vanguard, and Vanguard's the parent company to BlackRock. It's kind of crazy. It's like this.
It's just a circle, a vicious circle.
But they basically own everything.
Damn.
Everything. Your Walmart, your Amazons, your social media, Twitter, this, that. Like, they fucking own everything.
Damn. You know, I'm going to bring a guy here that he knows a lot about the cryptocurrency and all that Bitcoin, because he does installations of these freaking machines. I don't even know what they are, but you can install this thing in your house, and this thing does the beating for you. I have to put the power for them. I already did it in a couple places, and it looks like a computer. It's like this freaking big.
Yeah,
it's huge. And you plug that thing in, he program it, and you let it run.
What does it do?
It's just you buy cryptocurrency.
Oh, it's like a mining?
Yeah, it's like a mine.
Oh, yeah,
it's huge.
Sure, yeah.
And I never seen this thing before. It costs like $20,000.
Yeah.
And every time you put like a disc in there, it's another like $10,000-$15,000.
Yeah.
I know a couple of people who has a few, and then I try to ask them questions, but I still I don't understand how this whole thing works. I already asked him to come over to the show, and he says he will. So I'm gonna talk to him.
Real quick, we'll end on this.
Yeah,
but the extent of my knowledge on, like, I didn't know what you meant by, like, what do I know about it? The extent of my knowledge on that is, like, basically there's hardcore computing algorithms that people need, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it takes a lot of computing power to run those algorithms, to get the answer, you know what I mean? And so basically they start out with cryptocurrency, like, okay, so basically you have like this coin or whatever that's worth so much computing power or something.
Right.
I'm kind of freeballing here, but basically you could give your computer power over to that, and then it would just run and compute stuff, and then you would earn so many points of a crypto coin per, whatever, gigabyte or whatever.
Yeah, I gotta bring that guy here.
So, but here's the...
We gotta bring that guy here so we can kind of learn some shit.
When I first started, there was, I used to play Counter-Strike, and there was a gaming platform. I forget the name of it, but basically it was a platform. You'd put the platform on your computer, and then you could game with other people playing Counter-Strike, and there was like a bunch of, like you could, talk in your headphones, this and that. But what they had installed, the developers installed a background app in that platform that would turn your computer on and run it to mine crypto coins while your computer was off. Like if you shut your computer, it's running your computer without you knowing it. And a lot of people were getting their computers fried. This is long time, like back in like 2013, I think, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And they ended up getting big trouble for that.
Damn.
But that was like, they were basically using people's computers without them knowing about it. Farming. It's called farming for Bitcoin. Basically,
he tried to explain it to me, and I couldn't get not even half of the stuff he was saying. But I told him about this podcast, and he's happy to come over here and sit here and talk to us about that.
I'd be happy to learn more, because I only know like a little bit.
I want to know. I want to know who come up with that and how it works, and this things that he installed. How, you know what I'm saying? Because he was trying to get me into it, and when he told me it costs $20,000 to get one of these, I was like, How can I justify $20,000 to my wife?
Right, and that's like a mining. I think like it sounds to me like a mining machine, like a machine made just to mine.
Yeah.
So you pay $20,000 physical dollars for a physical device.
Yeah.
That mines the coins or whatever.
Yeah, you get the device in one card.
But you can also invest. Like there's a lot of people that just invest in the coins.
Yeah.
So like there was a lot of people back in like 2014. That were just buying Bitcoin stocks or whatever, however it works.
Yeah.
But over time, the value of one Bitcoin kept going up, kind of like a stock.
Yeah.
So then it was like kept going up and up. So people that actually invested in Bitcoin,
The millionaires now.
mainly Bitcoin, made a lot of money.
Yeah, they're
if
rich
they, you
now.
know, but then so there's, I don't really know. It's kind of like a stock type thing, but it was virtual currency or something.
I'll see if I can reach out to this guy this week and then see if we can bring him over here.
Yeah, and find out if he knows anything about Biden trying to pass a U.S. digital currency.
He's not a political guy, though.
No, I know, but if
he's gonna come here, it's just to kind of learn how this whole thing works.
Right, but I heard something about Biden trying to pass this law about a digital like U.S. cryptocurrency that would replace the American dollar, which means every dollar in your bank will be switched over from American dollar to a crypto, which means then they can monitor and track every single one.
What?
And they could try. I don't know. Just ask him if he knows about.
Yeah,
that.
well, you'll be here.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure you can help me out with your smooth English to ask the right questions.
Smooth.
You know what I'm saying? You'll be able to ask the right questions. I have a few questions myself, but I definitely want to get at least 1 hour out of this guy because he's really smart and he would try to teach me and tell me how it works, and I was like, save it for the show. But anyways, we're good. All right, thank you very much for coming over here, man. I really appreciate it. This was
Pleasure,
Savage Podcast.
as always.